So I just came out of the facility to take the test for the Part 107 Unmanned Drone license, basically. And I freaking passed. I passed the test. Whew. So to come down from that intense rush of excitement, I just have to share my experience with this test and this whole experience in getting certified for somebody out there who wants to do the same. So if you're in this video, you obviously have an idea of what a Part 107 is. The Part 107 is a certification you get with the government, the FAA, to allow you to legally fly basically a drone. And the reason why I decided to take it is because I just recently bought and upgraded my Mavic Mini to a Mavic Air 2X. Granted, the weight is bigger and this sucker could go really much further than the Mavic Mini. So in order to do the right thing, because I have a YouTube channel that earns revenue, I didn't want to have to look over my shoulder. This experience as a whole is just daunting. That's the only word I can describe, because it not only involves a lot of studying on material that really pilots know, it does incorporate a lot of things that you probably should know as a drone operator. But in the end, it's a lot of studying and it's a lot of information. I think the biggest thing for me that was like nerve-wracking committing to taking this test is that you pay $175 non-refundable. If you fail the test, you can't get the money back. Now, how did I study? I looked around for different resources online. Of course, there are tons of them online. Some of them are free. I decided to go with Drone Pro Academy. They had a good deal on a very elaborate study guide. Yeah, learning about clouds, first stage of a thunderstorm. And what I really appreciated about the speaker throughout the guide is that he broke down everything with visuals and maps and examples. They offer additional links to test your knowledge on outside of the website. And there's one website where you can do an actual practice test that's 60 questions long and seemed to replicate what the test had. And it wasn't wrong. There were questions on this test that were on the real test. Within the 24 hours before the test, on different sites on Google, I typed in practice test Part 107 and I practiced anywhere I could. So I didn't have a particular set of questions that I knew the answer to. Now, about the test and the whole experience, I was nervous as hell. And I ended up at the testing facility an hour before my scheduled time. But when I ended up is right next to the Honolulu airport. Go in, you have a scheduled time, but you put your belongings, like I had a backpack, I had all my paperwork. Then they take you into this quiet testing room. They provide you a pencil, a dry erase marker, a laminated sheet, very simple calculator, and lastly, a booklet with legends and all the illustrations and maps that you'll be referenced to on the test. The three crucial things to expect, no matter how much you study or what you study, remembering answers is not what you want to do. But typically you want to understand the principle of what you're learning, have an idea of why the answer is what. With that being said, there are going to be a lot of questions on the tests that you may not have seen in study guide, either reworded, have different multiple choice answers, or completely brand new. Number two, there are a lot of trick questions. When I say trick questions, there are a multitude of questions where you have to read the wording very carefully. Because, like, for example, they say a manned aircraft in such and such airport, where you have to look at manned aircraft. That'll give you a better answer, a better ability to answer that question. And three, the materials you get are very basic. It's to do the test, but that guide, that legend, and all that information in there, it's there to guide you. But there are a lot of instances where the legend actually had the answer to the question, or was like a treasure hunt to get the answer to that question. And I found myself in the legend just about 80% of the time of the test, because chances are it gave me the answer. If there are a number of things I can recommend, definitely study as much as you need to. They say about 15 hours average is enough time to get the crucial information to retain to take this test. But if you have the time, study, review material, get answers wrong so you can get them right later. I cannot stress that enough. During the test, You have about 2 hours time, which is a lot of time. For me, I took an hour and 55 minutes. But take your time. You don't want to rush through. Read all the questions carefully. As I said before, the questions are worded in a way that you have to pay attention to. In the test, you're allowed to bookmark questions that you may need to go back to or you're unsure of. And I found myself bookmarking at least half of the tests. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. There were things that I was unsure of, and there were a few things I did not even know. That going through the test and answering what I knew and going back, it allowed me to eliminate the challenge in the test. To the point where when I was down to 10 minutes, I was able to narrow it down to 3 questions, and I felt more confident doing that way. When you have a map and it has a figure, the best thing to do, if you see the figure in the map you have to go to, look at that, go to the map, then go back to the question, and it just takes away from the overwhelming process and the anxiety of answering the question right. Process of elimination is also very crucial in this test because there are a lot of tricky questions with tricky answers, and I found some questions where the answers all seemed right, but eliminating the most wrong to the next most wrong allowed me to just give me the answer, and it just made it so much easier. I am really hungry after that. I get some food. So right here we have some pipi kaula, and of course my favorite food on the entire planet, lau lau. Here we go. Oh, right into the lau lau. Here we go. Oh, definitely got to try out lau lau and pipi kaula. Helena's Hawaiian food in Kalihi. That's the place to go. Oh yeah, I can't forget about this. That is haupia, delicious dessert, must have in Hawaii. Holy f, that was onolicious. Okay. So look, man, this test was hard. It's not easy, and for anyone who wants to take it, don't anticipate walking in, memorizing everything, and just passing the test. It comes with a lot of thinking. It comes with it's just a lot. Some people's study times are shorter or longer. I saw some YouTubers study for about 8 hours in one day and pass the test. I've seen some take 3 to 4 weeks to a month. For me, I took 1 week, and I felt like that was enough to cram as much information as possible and commit to taking the test literally the next week. And it just depends on your study patterns and what you can retain. Like I said, the test is really difficult, but it's not rocket science. It might seem redundant, it might seem like a cash grab from the FAA, but in reality, with the information I learned, there was a lot of important details that I didn't know about, that I learned, and I do see relevance in flying a drone that can fly really far. So now that I've passed the tests, there's only one thing I have to do, and is basically contact the FAA and let them know, here's my test. I passed a 107. Means I'm officially a licensed drone pilot. Having the Part 107 means I can travel at ease with the drone, and what can I do with the drone? Take and capture amazing videos and photos of my destinations. So anybody who wants a drone and wants to fly, or has a drone and is wanting to fly but doesn't want to look over their shoulder and has questions on my experiences, what to expect and anticipate, got detailed questions, got comments, drop a comment below, or simply reach out to me personally. I'll be happy to answer any questions. So without further ado, let's hit the skies.